So I'm Bill Steffans. We have 6 offices across the state. I spend most of my time in the Broken Bow office. Jay spends most of his time in the Lincoln office, and we're personal injury attorneys here at Stefan Law.
So my name is Jay Schrecengost. I'm originally from California. I'm an attorney licensed in 2 states, California and Nebraska. I spend the majority of my time here at Stefan Law, serving clients throughout Nebraska and the Midwest. We help seriously injured clients reclaim their life through a combination of large settlement, negotiating their medical expenses, counseling, and a friendly approach to helping them get back on their feet and back to their life with their family, their friends, professionally, and otherwise, toward the end of just being somehow better than themselves even before the accident.
Welcome to Unshackled, Reclaim Your Life, the podcast sharing stories of resilience. Here's your host, Bill Steffans, along with co-host Jay Schrecengost. On each episode, they'll be speaking with people who have reclaimed their lives after serious injury, overwhelming debt, or other major setbacks. You'll hear their stories of perseverance along with expert guidance on healing and moving forward. We hope you'll be inspired and empowered by the journeys of our guests. Now let's get started.
Hello and welcome to the introduction to the Unshackled, Reclaim Your Life podcast. My name is Richard Matthews. I'm doing a special co-host episode with Bill Steffans and Jay Schrecengost today. Are you guys both there, Bill and Jay?
Yeah, we sure are. Yeah.
I'm here.
Afternoon.
Awesome. Glad to have you guys here. And this is just going to be a short intro episode for all of your audience who may be, just new subscribers to your show. And we're going to talk a little bit about who you guys are, what this podcast is about, and we'll just dive right into it. So first question is, let's talk about who you guys are, individually, and then what you guys' company does.
Absolutely. So I'm Bill Steffans. We have 6 offices across the state. I spend most of my time in the Broken Bow office. Jay spends most of his time in the Lincoln office, and we're personal injury attorneys here at Stefan Law.
Awesome. And so, Jay, what is...
I'll just add
Jay,
to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my name is Jay Schrecengost. I'm originally from California. I'm an attorney licensed in 2 states, California and Nebraska. I spend the majority of my time here at Stefan Law, serving clients throughout Nebraska and the Midwest. We help seriously injured clients reclaim their life through a combination of large settlement, negotiating their medical expenses, counseling, and a friendly approach to helping them get back on their feet and back to their life with their family, their friends, professionally, and otherwise, toward the end of just being somehow better than themselves even before the accident.
That's wonderful. And I know, just because I have had the opportunity of talking to you guys before we got on this episode, that you guys have a different approach than perhaps a lot of personal injury attorneys, in that you actually look at working at helping the whole person. Do you want to speak to that just a little bit? And it's because you guys help with more than just the legal case, but also, like you said, counseling and helping them get their life back.
Right. And, we've done this for a long time. The law office is now in its 30th year. We've specialized in this for the last 25 years. And with all that experience, we have ideas for clients and concepts that we feel really can help them move forward and, as Jay said, reclaim their life, going all the way back to just helping them make many decisions along that journey back, including medical providers. Sometimes clients don't know where to start, who to begin with, and so we help them do that. And then, as Jay says, we go through that entire journey until we can reach a great settlement for them, and then help them get back on their feet to as close as they were before, and as Jay says, sometimes better.
Wonderful. Do you have any follow-up to that, Jay?
No, I think Bill said it best. I guess maybe I would just add that, I think a lot of people, when they call us, they know part of what they need. They need a fighter. They need an advocate. They need someone who can navigate the world of insurance toward the end of getting them across the line. But what maybe they don't know is they need a friend. Oftentimes I'm coming away with great friendships out of the clients that we've forged to get them the highest value for their case, but also the best medical attention. And sometimes that's taking a call in the middle of the night, early in the morning, or picking them up for a medical appointment, or helping them pick out their next car, or choosing between, like Bill said, different medical providers. A lot of people call us, they don't know the difference between an occupational therapist or a physical therapist or a neuropathy therapist. So we're both experts and adept in the medical field, obviously with insurance, but We pride ourselves on being available. And I know I speak for Bill, but definitely for myself when I say this isn't a job because we love it. We live this life and we truly form relationships with the people we help that are life lasting.
That's
We've
wonderful.
discovered over the years that we can advocate most best for those people that we've really gotten to know and we know their story. And Jay wouldn't say this himself, but he's an excellent demand writer and he can get in there into a demand and talk about exactly what they've been through because he's talked with them about it and they've shared it with him and he's shared that as well with them. So we found it to be really a great practice that we both enjoy very much, and it's been very successful for clients.
Wonderful. So, what I want to get into next then is let's talk a little bit about this actual podcast. It's the Unshackled Reclaim Your Life podcast. Let's talk a little bit about what is your guys' goal with this podcast and why are you setting out to actually put this resource together for your community?
Sure. So, in thinking about what we do and our approach to this, it did occur to us that one of the things that we're trying to do for our clients is to bring them hope. They come to us, they're broken physically and oftentimes emotionally, and they need help in all those areas. And we thought, what if we put together a podcast with some other experts that we've gotten to know, that we've worked with, and perhaps even other clients if they're willing to share their stories and those stories that Jay and I would have. What if we were to bring those kinds of stories out and those kind of personalities into a podcast that would talk about how you reclaim your life after a serious injury?
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're looking at maybe perhaps building a resource for people because I would imagine a lot of people aren't expecting to end up in with a personal injury case, right? It's not something that they plan for. It's just something that happens to them. So it can be scary and it can be a hard part of their life to go through. So you guys are looking at building this community resource to help people both understand what that process looks like and maybe, you know, take some of the fear away from people who might have to go through some of these experiences.
If you or a loved one have suffered a serious personal injury, the experienced legal team at Steffans Law offices can help. Call 308-872-8327 for a free case review. With personalized support and proven results, we assist injury victims throughout Nebraska in getting the compensation they deserve. Steffans Law offices. Reclaim your life after an accident.
Jay, how do you see this podcast helping people in your community?
I appreciate the question. I think there's a lot of attorneys out throughout Nebraska. The vast majority of them are very competent and can do a decent job for their clients. I think what sets Bill and I and the rest of our large team apart in our offices throughout Nebraska is our own humanity. We speak our truth. We realize that we're helping human beings, that these aren't just clients with a file and a number that need a big chunk of money at the end of this. These are people that are best served by being a friend, a compatriot, a resource for them, however they need it, whenever they need it, wherever they need it. And, that's proven out through the fact that our business model is that when someone has hurt themselves or through the negligence of another become hurt, we'll come to them. We'll come to them in their home or wherever they feel comfortable and meet with them without any expectation of them becoming a client. We just want to get to know them and see if our culture matches their own lifestyle and it's a good fit together because we truly work with a team approach. And at the end of this, it's not just about the money. I mean, that's part of it, but it's not just about the money. It's about getting these people back to where they were before the accident. And that means their health, their wealth, their well-being, their jobs. There's many different aspects to this. So my hope for this is, and I hope this isn't too long-winded, but my hope for this is that the community can get a little piece of this and see who we are, Bill and I and the rest of our team as human beings, and that we deeply care about those whom we represent.
Awesome. And I know I've had a little bit of a preview because I've talked to you guys before on what the kind of content that you guys are going to be putting out, but you guys are going to be bringing in stories and you guys are going to be doing educational content on some of the legal aspects that go through here. So I know you guys have a lot of cool stuff planned for this podcast. How often do you guys expect to be releasing new content on your show?
I think we'd like to do the show at least once a month. We'll see how this goes, but we have a number of guests in mind that we think could be really helpful to clients in the future and clients that we have in the past that are still working towards reclaiming their lives. I think
Awesome.
No, I was just going to say, Jay, that as you talk, I do really appreciate the fact that our office goes out into the community and meets directly with clients. And it's not all over the phone or over a Zoom call. We like to meet, particularly the first time, to get to know them in person. And Jake's very good at that. I certainly enjoy it myself as well. It's something that means a lot to us. And I think it really starts and sets the stage well with clients and gets us both started on the right path together. And hopefully, this podcast is another piece to help.
So, when you were going to say something, Jay?
Oh, no, we plan on putting out content weekly. We may record less often, but we're going to put out some type of content, I think, weekly as often as we can. And yeah, I think, I know Bill is from central Nebraska. I'm originally from California, but we're both fond of the saying, get back in the saddle. And that's really what this podcast is about. We want people to get back on that horse, back in the saddle, and hold those reins tight and get on with their journey in their life. That's really what we're here to do, both in business, in life, and in this podcast.
Awesome. So, last thing that I want to just
It's
mention
very
on the
it's a
podcast.
very satisfying part of what we do. Very satisfying part of what we do is to see that transition from the severely injured client that comes to us broken to getting the right medical care, getting a settlement that is really satisfies them and is fair and just, and then getting, as Jay says, they're back in the saddle in life. And it's very gratifying as attorneys.
Yeah, hence
It's great
hence
that
the
we have
name
an
of the
opportunity.
podcast, the Unshackled, Reclaim Your Life. Right, I love that's it's a very picturesque name for the podcast and what you guys are planning on doing. Last thing I just want to cover on this episode is where people can go to find your podcast, and it's going to be your website, so steffanslaw.com/podcast, and we're going to make sure that your audience has access to all of the platforms that they might be interested in. So there'll be links to YouTube, there'll be links to Apple Podcasts, there'll be links to Spotify, wherever you like to listen to your podcast or watch your podcast. All the links will be available there. And then to the content, you guys will have the weekly episodes coming out. And then if you guys are following Steffan's Law on any of the social media platforms, they will have content coming out, short clips of the stories that they're sharing on all their social media as well. So if you're not already subscribed to Steffan's Law on Facebook or on TikTok or any of the other places that you might interact with the businesses in your community, make sure you guys follow Steffan's Law. With that, thank you guys so much for coming on and putting together this resource for your community. Do you have any final thoughts, either of you, before we end this intro episode and get people onto the real content in episode 1?
We're anxious to do that. We appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for your help on this, Richard.
Couldn't agree more.
Thank you, guys. And if you guys are watching this, again, the real content starts in episode 1 after this episode. So we'll see you there. Make sure you subscribe to the show.
Thank you for joining us on Unshackled, Reclaim Your Life. Please subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also visit steffanslaw.com to download the free book Crash Course, 7 Strategies for a Successful Injury Claim, and connect with us on social media. We look forward to having you with us again next time for more uplifting stories and practical advice to help you reclaim your life.